Open up your brown book, baby. It's for you, it's for us. The fantasies, no one can judge us, no one can judge us. This is for us. Open up your brown book, baby. It's for you.
Hey y'all, hey, it's your girl Shay Baby from the Brown Book series. Okay, I'm back. Look, the sun is in my eyes and it will not let me be great, but we're gonna do this thing anyway. All right. So right now, I crossed on over into the little YA scene. I like dabbling over there a little bit, especially when it's talking about immortals and all that kind of stuff. I like that. Y'all already know I'm like an X-Men kind of girl. You know what I'm saying? So when I dabbled over into that, and I'm a part of a organization called the Authors Encounter. And I'm like, what is Bethany, one of the founders, got going on over there in her YA book? So as I was over there dipping and dabbing in, I was over there listening. So a young man by the name of Chris Hudson was like listening and talking. And honey, y'all know I love a man that can talk, honey. So I said, let me go ahead on and call them and see what they talk to the Brown Book series. So, Brown Book series, ladies and gentlemen, bringing to the stage YA author Bethany Averie and voice actor Mr. Chris Hudson. Hi.
Hey.
How are you guys?
Excellent.
I'm doing all right.
You doing all right? Okay, he's excellent. Yeah. Doing all right. So, first of all, let me just start off because here the Brown Book series, we just tell all the business, right? Bethany, how did you find Chris to read about? Because honey, he got this. He make you just want to read all about everything. Like I'm just want to listen to everything. How did you find Chris?
Well, that's actually a kind of fun story. I got on ACX, which is through Amazon Audible, and I was looking up different narrators, and there was one that I thought about using at first, but he wasn't available. And so I was trying to decide between a couple, and I came across Chris's, and I actually asked my eldest child's opinion, and that person picked Chris, and I agreed. And so I sent him a message asking if he was available, and he was. So we got started.
And it was just that easy.
It was actually. It took time. It took a bit of time, but I was very impressed with his samples he had available. So.
Okay, so that's what's up. Okay, now you, Mr. Chris.
Yes.
You are a voice actor. Like, how did you break into that field?
Well, I was like, my mom actually got me started. She was always doing impersonations, like when I was a kid.
Really?
And so she would just pop into a British accent whenever she wanted to say something was fancy, right? And so like I kind of got used to doing it alongside with her as I grew up. And I got into singing and into music, and people always told me I had a nice speaking voice, like when I was, in between the songs, when I would introduce him. And so when I was going to school, I decided to maybe get into, if I can't work, like, things don't take off as a musician, maybe I could be on the radio or something like that. So I decided when I went back to school to get my degree in communications, and there's a local branch of NPR that broadcasts from the University of Arizona, where I'm from. And so I went and got my degree. I started working for them, and they gave me my first experiences on air. And then from there, it was super easy once I graduated to book gigs, and I started reading for education materials like audio tests and kids books and things like that. And then doing the occasional on-air commercial, and things just started to grow from there. And so I ended up putting some samples of some different character voices that I could do on ACX, because it's much more fun for me to play like, a silly character or do something like dramatic and cartoony than, read a banking commercial script or, something like that.
Okay, That's what's up. Okay, cool. Now, Bethany,
Yes.
when did you realize that you wanted to be a writer, and why did you pick YA?
I have been making up worlds and stories since I was a little girl.
Okay.
And I wrote a lot of poetry growing up, especially in high school, and some lyrics. My younger brother is a musician. He's about Chris's age. And but as I got older, I started writing short stories and things. And in high school, my junior year, English teacher said to me, "You should be a writer." And I said to her, "Oh no, I'm not good enough for that. There's no way." And she goes, "Well, okay, but you really have an imagination and I think you'd be good at it." Well, a couple of years later, my mom found through the Writer's Digest magazine a correspondence course. And I took that course and I started researching. And eventually I found Romance Writers of America. And I was a member of RWA for about 10 years.
Oh, wow. Okay.
And I was a member of the Northwest Houston chapter for about 9 years. And then I was a member of the Greater Houston area chapter for a year.
Okay.
I
you
left.
Still a member now?
No, I'm not a member anymore. I decided to they were doing some redesigning and stuff, and there was some things going on, and I just felt that I would wait and see what happened with all of that, and I wasn't sure what I wanted to do in terms of being a member of an organization. So I thought I would take some time off from being a part of one and see where it took me. And then during that time, some of that transition, that's when Nan and I decided to start the Author Encounter.
Okay, so the Author's Encounter. Tell us a little bit about the Author's Encounter.
The Author Encounter is a professional organization that is geared towards promoting authors, whether you're traditionally published or if you're an indie author. We focus primarily on fiction, and we have several interesting authors. We brought on, what does he write? He writes like military fiction. We got a new author member who does that. We've got several romance authors.
Hold on, wait. What's military fiction? Like he's like Army Wives or something? What's that?
It's like he's writing like he's already written it, but it's a thriller.
Okay.
And it has military aspects in it.
Oh, wow.
And yeah, he's a really interesting guy. I really am excited to see what we can do for him.
Right.
And after Nana Jenkins and I started the Author Encounter, we got Chris on board. And we met you through Indie Author Day. And so, yeah, we're really about making connections, providing those opportunities for authors to network and to meet people who can help further their career. We don't teach how to write. We just help further your career and decide what you want to do with it.
Okay. It's almost like a consultant type or support group kind of.
Yeah, we focus a lot on promotion. And we have several events. Last night, we had our supporter member, who is a freelance editor, debuting on Behind the Page, which is my interview series.
Okay.
And we had screenwriter Meg Lefevre, who has worked for Disney Pixar.
Right.
We've had Dan Navarro, who's been in the music industry for years, for like 30 plus years. He had a music partner named Eric Lowen, and they were the ones who wrote the song We Belong that Pet Benatar made popular in the 80s.
Yeah.
So we have had some very interesting people. We had a literary agent, Hannah Van Vels of Bel Castro Agency. So it's a little interview series that seems to be coming into its own, and I really enjoy doing that too.
Okay, cool. That's what's up. God,
Yeah.
you know her thing, ain't she, Chris?
Mhm.
Yeah, you're right, hustler. I love it. Now, Bethany, you have, and Chris, get ready because you already know I'm actually read.
Mhm.
Your Immortal Dream series.
Mhm.
So, Divine Love, that was the first book, correct?
Yes, that's
Can you
the first one.
Okay, can you tell us a little bit about Divine Love and just tell us about the Immortal Dream series as a whole?
Well, the first 3 books follow characters Lainey Alberts and Jason Magnus through series of adventures. Divine Love Book 1 focuses on how they met. They're seniors in high school, and Lainey is dealing with the fact that her father had died and how hard that's been. And she walks straight into Jason Magnus, and literally, that's not a figurative thing. She walks right into him, and he thinks that he's there to fulfill a dream of hers. And they find out there's a lot more at stake.
Did we lose her? Did we lose her? Let's see.
She froze.
You there, Bethany?
Sorry. Yeah, I'm here. Sorry.
That's okay.
Due to Houston snowmageddon, my house had 2 pipes burst. So I am currently at my parents' house, and their internet is kind of spotty sometimes.
It's okay. I understand that. Houston's weather is a little different.
Yeah, that's understandable.
Yeah, we're not used to snow. Is not our thing. We don't do. I mean, I lived in, and I spent part of a winter in Midland, Michigan, where my parents are from. So I know about snow, but Houston as a city is not used to snow. Yeah. So it was real bad, and we are still in the process of getting our house fixed. We have to replace cabinets, countertops, some flooring. It was bad.
Wow. Yeah, it's crazy. I have a couple of friends who live in Houston, and they said this. They call me like, "Shit, what are you doing?" Like, I'm outside chilling. They're like, "You're outside and you're in Boston. You're supposed to be in the snow. It's snowing down here." I was like, "Well, hey, don't jinx me. You know what I mean? Don't do that, because normally it will." Okay, so yeah, we understand that, Bethany. So you finished telling us about Divine Love.
Okay, hopefully the internet will behave itself.
Right, and if it don't, Chris, get ready to read your.
So yeah, they.
We ready?
Lainey and Jason meet, and they find out that she's actually half immortal, and he's the descendant of the Greek god Morpheus. And so they have to stop Eris, the goddess of discord, from taking over the world just because she can. That's basically the first book. The second book, Astral Love, follows the rest of those adventures, and then Immortal Love is the conclusion of their adventures. And the fourth book, Perfect Love, follows Lainey's friend Haley.
Okay, that's what's up.
That's the whole series. I'm hoping to write a 5th book, but I haven't yet.
The YA, so that's like young adult, right? Is this like romance kind of? Well, it's called Divine Love, so is it kind of like just they fall in love as kids and then they grow up into, or is it even kids? Maybe I'm thinking young adult means children. But it's not, right? Chris,
well, young adults can be anywhere from ages like 14 to like 21.
Okay. In your book,
so it's just, they're entering. They're 18.
That's what I
Yeah.
thought they're 18. Okay, so in all intents and purposes, they're grown.
I don't write.
Mhm.
Yeah, I don't write characters younger than 17. I found that I'm not good at it.
I don't think I could read about characters younger than 17 either. I found that I'm not good at it. So. It's all good. I absolutely loved it. Okay, cool. So you first started writing your series, was it back in 2015?
I started writing Divine Love. Yeah, about the first one was published in 2014.
Okay.
And I started writing that probably about 8 months before it was published. My critique partner, Tess St. John, who is an excellent writer in her own right, she kept telling me that I should write YA, that I had a young voice in the way I wrote. And I wasn't sure about doing it at first. So I thought I would experiment and see if I could do it. And Divine Love just grew out of that experiment. And I ended up feeling like it was really where I was meant to be.
Okay, now Divine Love and all your series, are you traditionally published, or are you an indie writer?
Well, I was with a small press, but I got my rights back on all my books. So I am working on the second edition, and once I get the re-edits done, I plan to put them back out with new covers and everything.
Now, would that be traditionally published, or that'll be you doing it yourself?
No, that'll be myself.
Okay.
A lot of publishers don't take previously published work. Yeah, it'll be indie.
Mhm.
Okay. So they don't. So why did you discontinue your was it services? Your being an author with the small press, it wasn't working for you, or because I heard you said you had to get your rights back?
They were not. It was all right. I just wanted what I wanted to do with my career. I wanted to re-edit books, and because every author finds mistakes, no matter how many times they read the books, they always find something.
Right.
So I wanted to issue a new edition with new edits, but they don't do re-edits once it's been out. So we decided to wish each other well, and I'm going my own way now. I do hope one day to be traditionally published with one of my other manuscripts that I'm editing.
Okay.
It's all written. I just have to finish editing it, and then I'll be querying agents with it.
Okay, well, good luck on that, girl. Yes, and I heard indie publishing is a lot, girl.
Thank you.
They said it's the marketing that's the pain in the ass. But hopefully now that we have all this, technology, or as my father-in-law would say, you got the smartphones over there. So and you have different platforms. Social media platforms is a beast all in itself. So just good luck with that. Like honestly, but I think it'll work out though. And then plus you got Chris reading and stuff. Like
thank you, Shay.
It's a win-win,
Gotcha.
So Chris,
yes,
Mr. Hudson, Mr. Voice Actor Extraordinaire. All right, can you read us a little something from? You're gonna be reading from Divine Love, right?
Yes.
All right.
Yes. The whole cover. Yes. So in this scene,
that's the first edition.
The first edition, right?
All right.
So in this scene, Jason, the main character of the book, whose job it is to make Lainey fall in love and get together, he's posing right now as like your average high school student in his mission. He's kind of like an undercover agent.
Right.
And his job is to infiltrate. And so right now he's like a new student trying to establish his identity, like as like the, you know, the cool kid, the popular guy, and trying to get in with Lainey. And in this scene, the crazy thing is, the fun thing I think about the book is that all the other gods, the major gods like Cupid and Ares,
Right.
and those kind of gods, like they pop up because there's a lot more significance to their mission, Jason's mission, than he realizes. So it's a confusing thing. And so in this scene, Cupid like surprises him in the men's bathroom and wants to know what's going on.
when people surprise you in the men's bathroom, that can go either way. So
true. That's not. It's a kind of awkward place to meet.
Very awkward. Very awkward.
So it adds to the fun, because in this, Cupid's a very like zany and fun, carefree guy.
Got you. Okay. You have the same.
I'll just read a little snippet.
All right.
Cupid hid his amusement behind his golden bow. Open your heart to you and Lainey's possibilities. I could shoot you both with my gold-tipped arrows. He slid out an arrow and twirled it in his fingers. Problem is, they don't work on immortals, and none of the other immortals appreciate cheating in these matters. Glad they don't work on me. You'd probably make me fall in love with the wall. Everyone on Olympus knows about your pranks. You should quit putting ideas into my head. He slapped Jason on the back. You and Lainey get to fall in love the old-fashioned way. Goody, I'm Zeus's pawn. Cupid's laughter echoed through the tiled bathroom. Relax. With or without arrows, falling in love isn't so bad. You're nearly there as it is. Go away. We've taken too much time. Right. Cupid snapped his fingers and disappeared. Jason strode out of the bathroom and joined the clamor of reanimated students. More secrets and schemes. Yippee. And that's it.
Yay! You know what, Chris? If you were to read like a full-blown romance novel, boy, them women would be like, what did he say? I think I'm just gonna send you a couple novels. Yeah, I'm gonna send him a couple novels that I just have anyway, and just just read these just for me personally. That's I'm gonna get my list together. So Bethany, I'm sorry, I'm stealing Chris from you. Okay.
No, that's okay. I can share. I'm a happily married woman anyway.
So. Okay, me too. So you know, it ain't no fun at home. Can't get none. I'm just saying, so I'm gonna. We're going to share. Okay, so we have a couple of segments we do here at the Brown Book series. One of them is called Author's Moments. So, Bethany, this actually is geared towards you, but for Chris, you too, because you are an actor. So, you know, author, actor is the same thing. But it's called Author's Moments. So, for you, Bethany, you can go first. Let me know, Author's Moments, what is your most urgent priority for the rest of the year?
Oh, wow, that's a really good question.
I know.
My most urgent priority. Well, I actually have more than one.
Hey,
top of my list is to get the manuscript that I'm editing ready to go to agents. There's a couple of agents that are members of the Author Encounter that I have my eye on. One of them I've been talking to on and off throughout the year about my manuscript, and she said, well, whenever it's ready, to send it to her. And one of our other supporter members has already offered to edit it. We're going to do an exchange of goods, and she's a freelance editor, so she's already said to me that she wanted to have a look and edit it and get it polished and ready. So that's at the top of my list. Nan Jenkins, the other founder of the Author Encounter, wants me to get Divine Love finished editing so that we can put it back out, so that it's available again in paperback and ebook. And she wants me to do the whole series, but the series is going to take a while to get completely edited. So editing is at the very top of my list.
Okay.
As an author.
Okay, that's what's up. Chris, what's your most urgent priority for the rest of the year?
For me, I'm sharpening up my marketing skills because a lot of times we as creatives, we focus on getting, maximizing the talent and putting out the best product that's possible. But the thing is, especially if you're working on your own projects or smaller, more indie projects, if, the marketing's not there, if nobody hears about it, it's like, doesn't matter. You know what I mean? Does it make a difference? And so I'm realizing more and more, the more I work, how important marketing is, getting people to, to stop and take a listen to what you're doing. So that's my urgent priority.
Yeah, marketing is a beast. I mean, my team is pretty good at it now, but we just took our old approach because, my background is radio and television. I was like, yo, this is totally different. This is authors, and but it's actually, it's the same thing. So it's like, we don't have to reinvent the wheel, just sprinkle a little Shay on top of it. That's all.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So marketing is crazy. That's why I feel for the indie, I root for all romance authors and all authors, period. But I really root for the indie authors because it's like you're doing it all yourself. You got to figure this thing out on your own, as far as marketing and publishing and the cover art, all that stuff. I'm like, yo, I couldn't listen. My hat goes off to them. To you guys, Bethany. I couldn't do it, girl.
Well, I still have hopes for being with a more traditional approach, but I am learning a lot, and the Author Encounter is a big help. So
that's awesome.
Yeah, because we are actually, the Author Encounter is going to help Chris with one of his projects in promotion. So really excited about that.
Yay!
So,
all right,
we'll see where it goes.
I love it. Chris, side question for you. When you are reading a novel, like as far as like reading Bethany's novel, do you have to fully read the book through a couple of times yourself before you can be like, okay, now let me record it? Or, are you like Biggie, you just get in the booth and start flowing? Like, how does that
No. You know what? A lot of how you say a line depends on context. And you want to know what the character is thinking and feeling really in this moment, but it's important to know where their head's at in like the broader course of the story. So for me, like I read through the book, first asked a bunch of questions about the characters so I could really get a sense of like where they're at, because with good writing, the characters change.
Right.
You know what I mean? There's like a development, right? And so like if you're reading them the same way just because, you're not really thinking about how they're changing throughout the course of the book, then everything's going to sound static, and the same, and it's going to get boring for people. So I do my homework, I guess, long story short.
So after you read your book, though, like you said, you ask questions. So you basically have to interview Bethany about what she meant, when she wrote this, what's the content, what was she feeling? Was she drinking a glass of tequila and just said, I'm just going to write, like what the hell is going on?
There's a lot of back and forth. Yeah.
Okay.
There was.
Communication is important.
How long did it take for you to finish?
A long time.
It took a long time. Wait. So once you interview, why did you laugh?
First of all, the thing
like what had happened was what happened?
First thing is, what people don't realize is that the audiobook that Chris produced for me is different than any other audiobook out there. He really did change his voice for every single character. Now, he didn't do it in the little sample reading he just did a few minutes ago, but every single character in that book has a very different voice. And that takes a lot of time. And he had to send me samples, and I had to say, no, tweak it here, or that almost there, not quite there, not so high up for the girls, and things like that. And I tried not to be too much of a perfectionist, but what I discovered was that Chris is very concerned about product, and I think that's wonderful. As an author, I want to put out my best work.
Right.
Which meant that even if I said, oh, this chapter is really good, I think it's ready to go, Chris says, oh no, there's something I want to tweak. And I'm like, oh no, not again.
It's like voice act. I mean, well, narrators, they call, here, the book narrators and your editors. It's almost like you want the ones who are just passionate about your project than you are. So something you might miss, right. And he might be like, no, if you, I've read it. I know I've interviewed you. I know what you was thinking. So let me just do it, and then it always come out right. I say, always come out right. That's what's up. All right then, Mr. Chris. Okay. So next question, author's moments. What are you most grateful for right now in this moment?
Are you going to me?
Okay. Yeah. Ladies first, always.
Ladies first.
Okay. All right. I guess for opportunities. I never thought when my English teacher approached me in high school that I'd even be where I am today. I've put out 5 books in a short period of time. And now I'm, working on a new step in my career. And I've got this company that is slowly growing. I mean, it's just barely a year old, the Author Encounter is. And, I've had some really supportive people. My family has been there all the time, telling me this is so great that you're doing this and urging me forward. I have people challenging me. So, I'm really grateful for all the opportunities I've had and the ones that are coming my way.
That's what's up. Okay, Chris, same question. What are you most grateful for right now in this moment?
I would say I'm most grateful for freedom, because right now, like this, through the past year, I would say, I was really able to unplug from having to do a bunch of other like side hustle, non-related side hustles that just kind of took up time to pay the bills, and that's it's always a constant pressure, right? Is doing what you love, but then you still have to pay the bills, right? So, I took like a couple big steps, and part of that was, me moving to LA, was leaving the office job that I had and really stepping out and spreading my wings. And luckily I was able to find a steady acting gig with the Wave app, and which is like gold for an actor, right? So like now I get paid full time to tell stories, and so I'm grateful, instead of having to spend 50, 60 hours a week, in a desk pushing papers, that I can have the freedom to be creative.
You says the Wave app, like MapQuest, like they have Waze. Oh, that's Waze.
Oh no, that's Waze. Yeah. W-A-Z. The Wave app.
It's a sleep
app. It's a sleep app. So I narrate stories to get people sleepy. So I have to use my chill voice.
Okay, give us an example of your chill voice.
Okay. So, all right. So how I start, I will say, hello, everyone, and welcome to Wave. My name is Chris, and I will be your sleep guide for the night. I hope your day has been an amazing one. You'll need a great night's sleep in order to make the most of tomorrow. So go ahead, place your phone to the side, and get into a comfortable sleeping position, and we'll go ahead and get started on today's session.
What in the hell just happened? Listen. So wait a minute. Okay. So after we got comfortable and we all cuddled and and trying to find that spot in our bed, what do you do? Do you just talk about what? Like, do you read them a bedtime story? Like,
basically, it's
really?
A bedtime story that we make up every night. So,
Chris, let me find out you over there doing erotic dreams. Now listen, is it PG-13 rated R? Do we get look at me, Bethany? Do we get to fine tune it? Do we need to tell you like which dial we want it on? Like, how does that
work? No.
I don't know. I don't have the app.
I'm about to get the app.
It's up to us as the sleep guides what we talk about every night. So we have like a variety of different types of stories that we tell. Like last night, the story was me. I created one where everyone's in a video game. And so you're like an elf and you go out to the next town and cross through the forest with not monsters, but they're like little mushrooms that kind of come up to you and try to steal your items and your gold and stuff. So it's just this, silly, more fun stories. They're never too like dramatic, or like emotional because.
So no rated R, is what you're telling me?
No rated R or anything.
Oh, Chris, you might can't be my way guide.
Because we want you to be relaxed.
You know where Shay's mind is.
Is that right? I'm trying to have a real happy dream.
I find those opportunities coming as well. Like that's always fun to me.
What?
So like hardcore romance.
Yes, we're gonna put that out there for you.
Yeah,
we're gonna let all the romance authors and my brown book crew, all y'all. Chris Hudson is available to read some old downright erotic, good old romance
before he finishes my series.
I know, right? Well, yeah, right. She's gonna finish Bethany's series, but
he has to finish my series first.
He can do two at one time. He's multi-talented like that. He's multi-talented. All right, author's moments. Did I ask you guys this? Bethany, and being a novelist, what did you learn a little too late? Did I ask you that already? No, not yet. Okay.
No, you haven't asked me that one yet.
Okay. Cool.
Wow. I guess what I learned was not to be impatient. This is an industry where you have to be patient. Sometimes it's hurry up and wait. In fact, oftentimes it is that because you send in a query and you have to wait for a response, or you send in your manuscript and you have to wait for edits. And I, didn't learn that well enough until later. So what I would tell any new author, learn to be patient. It's not always easy, but it's a good practice. It's a good trait to have, to just be patient.
Just be patient. I like that. Chris, actor's moments. and being an actor, what did you learn a little too late?
What did I learn? I would say that I don't want to say nothing's going to work out the way that you plan it, because that sometimes it does. But I would say that like trying to really micromanage every aspect of your career and where you want to be, I think limits you. Because a lot of times I'm finding out taking on different projects that like I never really thought about before, and being open-minded to it has really expanded me in a lot of different ways. And I get to be, more fluent in areas that I just never would have expected. Like when I came onto this, I wanted to, in voice acting, I wanted to be on animated shows like anime and stuff like that. I love because I grew up drawing and I went to art school.
Okay.
And that's why I wanted to voice those characters in those shows. But then, coming into it, deciding like, hey, why not? I love reading and books and, characters. Like, why not try voice acting? And then, I love romance. I'm a little bit of a Romeo in my personal life. So
a Romeo, Lord, G, not a Romeo, Lord.
Just a little bit. So like the romance, the romance arena is not anything that I ever considered before, but it was like, yeah, why not? Why not?
Yeah.
It's something that I love, anyway. So why not, do something fun and cool. So yeah, it just makes you a more well-rounded person, and it makes life a lot more exciting just to be open-minded.
Yes, you have to be open-minded. I absolutely love that. Okay, so last question for the author's moments. Bethany, if you could have a pen name, what would it be?
Actually, the name I go by is my pen name.
Girl, wait a minute now. Hold on now. We didn't know that. Hold on, back up. So Bethany Averie is your pen name? Let me put my drink at. I didn't know.
Okay. Well, I mean, if I wasn't using the name, well, Bethany is my first name, is my legal name. So Bethany is my real name.
Okay.
But Averie is a pen name.
I got you. I understand that.
But if I was going to use
a different pen name,
if I was going to use a different name other than, if I wasn't going to, well, at one time I did have a different pen name and it didn't pan out. But if I wasn't going to use the name Bethany, I would use the name Jean in honor of my maternal grandmother, whose name was Jeanette.
Oh.
And she passed away. Yep, that's what I would use. She passed away when I was in the third grade. I was about 9 years old.
Oh.
And she was a very elegant and beautiful lady, and I admired her so much. So I would have used an aspect of her name.
Okay. Chris, while you're over the Wave app and all them people as Chris Hudson, and you roll on over to the romance world, and they say, okay, let's use a different name. Let's take you away from being the Wave guy, the sleep type, unless you switch over to sleep. Anyway, because it all can go together. Anyway, and you had to do a pen name. What would your pen name be?
Let's see. I always like the way that the name Desmond kind of rolls off the tongue.
Desmond.
Yeah, it just has like something to it.
It does.
That I like. So I would think of something like a cool last name to kind of put with it.
But Hudson is Desmond Hudson is kind of, it works.
Yeah. I wanted to name my second born Desmond. But
okay. All right, cool. That's what's up. I'm with it. I like that. So when you look, I ain't writing no book, but in my dreams, if I write a book, I'm gonna get it narrated by Desmond Hudson. I like that. It's kind of cool. I like that. All right. That was cool. So, dead or alive, Bethany, you go first. If you were hosting a dinner party and could invite 5 people from any era, who would it be?
Oh, wow.
You be thinking about
I think I would. That's an interesting question. I've never had that question before. Hey, but I would definitely want to invite. I would definitely want to invite C.S. Lewis, for one. I love the Narnia series so much. J.R.R. Tolkien, because of the Lord of the Rings, and he's just, really awesome writer. Maybe Jane Austen, just to shake things up a little bit. Let me see, 2 others. Madeline L'Engle, because I read some of her books growing up, and she was really, really good author. And I don't know, maybe my grandmother.
Jeannie. Yes.
Yeah, well, she went by Jeanette.
Jeanette. Well, Grandma Jeanette. We want her. That's what's up. Okay. So, Chris, if you were hosting a dinner party and could invite 5 people from any era, dead or alive, who would it be?
That's an interesting one. I would say historically, Abraham Lincoln, because of the way he thought.
Yeah.
And it would be interesting.
Very.
Like philosophically, I think it would be interesting. But do I think he would be like, you know, the life of the party? Like, probably not. But,
you never know. Oh, Abe, my God, get down at the party.
Yeah, you never know. You never know. So that historically, for philosophical conversation, the deep stuff, you know how like the party, you know, starts to die down and you get into like the real conversations with people.
Coffee and you just like after the dinner kind of,
Yeah. So that's I would say from the modern era, Jay-Z, definitely, because of his hustle and just that that belief, you know what I'm saying? That like you can do anything. He just like, you can tell he just internalized it.
Yeah.
And made an empire, really. So
and still making it.
Yeah. I would put Muhammad Ali in that list for number 3 because also his confidence. And he's fun. He's a fun dude. Yeah. So that would be cool. And then probably Sam Cooke. From like back in the day, he was a smooth dude. I would say like him and Nat King Cole, they're like my 50s, 60s era idols, because they're both very smooth guys, great singers, but like they cared about what was going on with the world, right? So how many is that?
That's 4.
4. All right. Last but not least, maybe I would say either like the Dalai Lama or like Oprah or somebody like that. Or maybe Obama.
I didn't choose anybody alive.
Okay, that makes it. All right, cool. Look at y'all getting y'all life together over there. I absolutely love it. All right, before we ask our last question of the interview, this went by fast. I just want to thank you guys for coming on and, you know, hollering at us and talking to us here at the Brown Book series. It was very interesting. I'm always, you know, I read all over the world. I love romance now. Romance is my theme. But then this YA, honey, by these immortals and these werewolves and these vampires and kissing on the girls and the boys. I like that too. So Bethany, before we ask our last question to you and Chris of the interview, let everybody know what's going on with you. You got to finish editing your novel, of course, and then you're going to re-release it this year or next year?
I don't know that precisely yet. I would love to re-release Divine Love this year, but I think it's going to have to be next year.
Okay.
As to the rest of reissuing the rest of the series, I don't have a timetable yet. I know Nan will push me because she's good at that, and that's good because sometimes I need a push.
Right.
But yeah, right now I'm just trying to get everything pulled together, trying to get back into my house. So it's a little slow right now, but hopefully I'll pick up the pace.
Okay, and that's what's up. Tell everybody where they can, keep in contact with you. Tell everybody where they can find you on your social media handles and also your website, and how they can be introduced or even can go and play around at the Authors Encounter.
The Author Encounter is just the Author Encounter, all one word, .com. And if you're a published author, you can join on the author level. If you're a reader, we have a reader level. And if you're an editor or an agent or an influencer like Shay or a voice actor like Chris, you can join on the supporter level. And you can find me on Twitter. My handle is at Write, WRITE, by BY Bethany. And you can find me on Blogspot as Write by Bethany. That's my blog. And I'm on Facebook and I'm on Instagram. I'm also on LinkedIn too. But I don't have all the information in front of me.
You all over the place. All right, Chris.
I am.
But it's a good thing, you know.
For me, my acting. Oh, you said where are we doing the rest of the year?
Well, no. Where they can contact you. You know, your websites, your social media handles.
Oh, right. Well, in the acting world, you can visit chrisjhudson.com. Oh no, I'm sorry, chrisjhudsonacting.com. And I'm in the process of setting up a Instagram for the different voice things that I do. And if you want to reach out to me as far as getting in contact for a future project, for narrating or voice acting, you can just email me at chrisjhudsonacting@gmail.com.
Okay, I absolutely love it. All right, before we ask this last question, I want to say thank you guys for coming on. We really appreciate it here at the Brown Book Series. All right, Bethany, are you ready?
Mm-hmm.
Last question.
I think so.
If you were writing a book about your life, what would the title be?
Oh my gosh. Gosh, that's a tough one. I really don't know what I would title it. I don't know what I would title it. That's a good question, though. I'll have to think about that one. Maybe Chris has a better answer.
Chris, if you was writing a book about your life, what would the title be?
Well, I'm just kind of getting into everything right now. I'm 35, and so I would say late bloomer, the Chris Hudson story.
Late bloomer, I like
a good title.
Yeah, that's a nice title. That's what's up. All right, Chris and Bethany, again, thank you guys so much for coming and joining us at the Brown Book Series. We really, really appreciate it. Y'all hold tight for me, okay?
Sure.
All right. All right, if you like that content, and I know that you did, you know what to do. Like, subscribe, and share. And also hit the notification bell below if you haven't already, so you can be notified whenever the Brown Book Series uploads or come on live or whatever we're doing. Make sure that, you're going to be updated with it. And y'all know the routine. You're here with me, 6 o'clock. Brown Book Series, when I'm over here with all the shenanigans. And then at 7 o'clock, you're going to mosey on over to Reese Ryan's channel. She's on at 7 o'clock. Everything will be in the description box below. And then at 8 o'clock, we're going to go on over to Cruise Radio at 8 o'clock for Iris Moments with Iris Bolling. Y'all got that? 6 o'clock Wednesdays here, right here in Brown Book Series. 7 o'clock, Reese Ryan. 8 o'clock, Iris Bolling for Iris Moments. Thank you. I love you guys. And yay, be safe. See you next week.
Open up your brown book, baby. It's for you. It's for us. The fantasies. No one can judge us. No one can judge us. This is for us. Open up your brown book.